What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. I've got the two boys down with me. Alexa, shut up. So I wanted to make a video real quick on statues I wish I never bought or lines I wish I never got into if I could go back in time. Now, 4 years ago, it wasn't super difficult to just sell a whole line. You could more or less get all your money back. And so if you did buy a line, you're like, you know what? I regret getting this. I want to go down a different rabbit hole. You could easily do that. For those who may be new to the channel, not have been following me long, I used to collect Marvel comic statues. Now, if you look 5 years back, my collection was totally different. We had white Bestas, Stuvas, Detolfs. I had about 100 more Dragon Ball Z statues and I had tons of comic statues. And I decided eventually, I mean, I liked the comic statues, they're cool, but I'm just not into comics. And so I decided I'm doing movie only outside of Venom because there's no Venom movie statues and more or less it looks the same. So I decided to up and sell that entire line. I had them for maybe less than a year and I sold them all and more or less I got all my money back. I didn't really lose money. Nowadays, it's not that easy. I would say, in general, the moment you buy a statue, you lose 20% of that value. Some of them, 30 to 50%. Older statues, which historically, older statues would actually have really good resale value just because they're older, lower edition sizes. It was harder to get, so they'd hold their value quite well. Now, older statues, their value has dropped drastically. Simply due to the fact that they're outdated, the quality's just not that good, the paint isn't that good, they're just not as impressive, so the newer statues make the old ones look like crap. So, I mean, here's the thing, you can't tell the future. I can never tell you guys if a Superior, Marcus, and Lycan are going to come out. Now, I don't think there is, but you never freaking know. So, yeah. You just never know in the future. So I always try to, like, in essence, live in the moment on what's best at the moment now and not be like, okay, I'm not going to buy this Superman statue because I think a better one will come out in 5 years. So it's hard to live by that. But there are definitely certain characters you can guarantee there's going to be more versions. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. You're going to get more versions of them. Guaranteed. Other characters that are quite unique and rare, it is unlikely you will get that particular statue again. Like, I doubt we're going to see another Reaper statue ever again. The movie's old. It's not, like, current. There's these great ones. What other company's going to try to tackle that? I doubt anyone's going to try to go back and get the Blade license. If they did, they'd probably just make Wesley Snipes, which I think PCS already tried. They couldn't get it, so they ended up doing the video game version of him. So, yeah, so you do have to keep that in mind. But let's go through the collection. I'm going to tell you what I wish I didn't buy and what lines I wish I'd never got into. Let me just put this food away because Raiden is a little fat foodie and he'll eat that. So, I probably would not have bought those two. As much as I love them, I wouldn't have bought them for the pure reason that they're not movie statues. They're conceptual. Now, Alien's a little less like, I still really like that piece, but I kind of wish that my AVP setup was just pure movie. It's hard to say with conceptual pieces because it's like, God, that Alien statue is so sick. So is the Predator. Same thing with like Red Sonja and Vampiro. Like, I love them to death, but they're not from a movie. But they look insanely good. Like, they're two incredibly sexy women. You got a vampire, you got a warrior fighting a gigantic snake. I mean, the concepts are so cool. So I don't like regret them, but it kind of falls in that similar category of like, do I really regret these? I wish I just had more space. That's the thing. It's like, I don't necessarily regret owning them per se, but I regret not having enough space for more stuff. Because at the end of the day, I do want to keep these pieces and, in essence, just expand AVP and have more AVP stuff. Because, I mean, in a perfect world, I'd have the entire Prime 1 Predator and Alien XL line. I would get bust of every single Predator. I would have an entire room of Predator and Alien if I could. So I'm a huge fan of the movies and the statues. I've been actually rewatching all the Alien and Predator movies. I just watched Alien 1. We saw Prey and Predators, the one with that one. And so me and the wife, I swear every few years we watch all the Alien and Predator movies. So I probably would not have bought that pumpkin head knowing the 1/3's coming out. And the resale value on that's just plummeted. But that would probably be the only horror piece I would say, like, if I go back. I mean, I like it, but it is 1/4. I'd just go with the 1/3. I definitely would not buy Anubis or Cyclops. I mean, I really enjoyed the Avengers 1/6 line, and I still like them a lot. I wish I could display them better. But if I could just get all my money back right now, of course I would. If I could sell them at a reasonable rate, I would. But nobody wants to buy them. So ultimately, I probably should have never just bought them. In general, I should have just stayed away from 1/6. I mean, I loved my DBZ 1/6, and at the time, I really enjoyed it. And the thing with DBZ 1/6 is I didn't lose any money, so it's like I don't necessarily regret it. I enjoyed it at the time. I sold it, and I actually made money. So that one I don't regret. Marvel's a tricky one because it's like I definitely don't regret any of my busts per se. Although I probably, if I could, I would not get this. Simply because I have that, and it's a similar costume. But Marvel quarter scale. This is a line where it's like, I love it, but also, I wish I just had 1/3 Marvel. The hard thing is, 1/3 so tall that they just very rarely fit down low. Like the new Queen Iron Man 1/3, I absolutely love that Iron Man to death, and the Hulk. But those are top shelf only pieces, and as you guys can see, I am out of top shelf statue space. I mean, I guess theoretically, you could probably place this entire line down low. I guess, I mean, this Wonder Woman would look horrible down low, but certain of these 1/3s technically could go down low. Or you just have to raise the shelf in this entire room. Kind of like how I did it over here. Now this is probably, I mean, that's a good height actually. But imagine this entire room was 1/3 in bust and all the shelves were this tall. Except for the Thanos one. That would be too tall. And Wonder Woman on horse and probably Darkseid and Steppenwolf. And maybe even this bust. But the shelves that don't have super tall busts, like let's say this and this, and even like the Batman stuff, if I had shelves this tall, then you could put all 1/3s underneath. I wish my Marvel setup was 1/3, but here's the thing. We don't have enough Marvel 1/3 statues. There's a custom Trinity, but frankly, they look terrible. There's the Queen Iron Man, which looks amazing. There's also the Cinema Cat Iron Man and Hulk. There's the Queen Hulk. But Queen is definitely not a company you can rely on to finish a line. They have never finished anything. And their promises are never kept, so you can't count on that. And I would hate to have my Marvel statue collection just like 2 1/3s. Or right now it's complete, per se. I'm missing Hawkeye. So I think if you want to be a completist and have more characters, 1/4 is the route to go with Marvel. If you just want like one ultimate Iron Man, obviously the 1/3 is better than my quarter scales. So Marvel is a tough one. At this point, I don't yet regret it, but it's possible in the future. It's a tough one with the Marvel, really. I mean, I probably wouldn't get Rocket and Groot. If we're just talking singular statues, I wouldn't get Rocket and Groot. And that's probably it. Everything else I'm honestly quite happy with. Yeah, that's honestly probably the only statue even in here. I love all my Jurassic stuff, but I probably would not have got those 1/10 scales. Just get rid of them. Although I do want that 1/10 blue, so that one I definitely love. And I am overall happy with like my Jurassic line. MK, I have severely downsized over the years. And who knows if I downsize again. I mean, I've made some videos in the past talking about potentially doing it. And I have reasons I both want to do it and I don't want to do it. As a holistic wall, I think it looks amazing. All one theme and it looks great. You got 1/3 and bust up top, down low 1/4. I got a lot of key characters that are important to me and character costumes that are important, like MKX, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion. My two mains, huge fan. Baraka's my main in MK1, Raiden MK9. I love Shao Kahn and Motaro, Kintaro. Having all the bosses is super cool. So, yes, some of these statues are, kind of outdated, especially like that Liu Kang, for example. But Liu Kang is like one of the main stars. I gotta have him. So MK is a little tricky one. As of right now, like I'm happy with my MK. I definitely don't regret anything. I've enjoyed a lot of MK over the years, and I sold a lot, and I made some decent money actually on some of them. So I don't necessarily regret any of that. I guess I regret getting that Neo statue. Now, I love the video game, but I got an issue with that statue. One, I bought the wrong version. I should have went with the one with the fairy. Two, the head's a little too big. Like, if you compare that head size to Jin Sakai, it's too big. I mean, maybe William has a huge head, but I would either A, go no Neo statue, or B, get the one with the fairy on it. I don't know why I didn't get that. I was a freaking retard. Because the fairy one is a way cooler piece. So, I wish I could just get the fairy version. If I'm going to have a Neo statue, I want the one with the fairy. Everything else, honestly, I'm very happy with in this room. I feel like this room's turned out so good. Again, my biggest issue right now is just I need more space. It's not necessarily... I've sold so many statues over the years, probably $250,000 worth of statues, hundreds and hundreds. And those are the ones I, in essence, kind of regret. It's everything I've sold. Everything I've kept up until this point, more or less, is stuff I really like. Now, I potentially, like, if I could get the money I wanted to, I'd probably get rid of Grimlock and maybe even G.I. Joe. Maybe. I mean, I wish I just had more space, but, because I do love them. Space is always my biggest concern right now. God. The only problem for me on Grimlock is it doesn't scale with the rest of my collection. And so it makes it difficult. Now, I love my Transformers, but if I could just get my money back for these Transformers right now, I probably would get rid of them. The only reason is so I could get a different line and just have this as my Transformers wall. And what I would do, I'd probably do a mix of things. I would do the, let's say, for example, Pacific Rim life-size bust. Well, human life-size. With the statue, the Prime 1, I'd probably do it right there. Just because it's so big and that's a lot of money. And I ideally want it middle show. Pacific Rim definitely. And maybe... I'd have to figure it out, but definitely that would be a big want of mine. Master Splinter's okay, but I don't necessarily need that statue, so I'd probably get rid of it. Now, in all honesty, though, when I think about other statue lines, there isn't many other lines I see, and I'm like, man, I really wish I had that line. Because... over the years, I've gotten into all those lines where when I saw someone's collection, I was like, man, that's sick. I really need that. I eventually got into that line. When I think about it, when I first started, it was DBZ and MK. Then I branched out into just video games, and then Lord of the Rings, and then Marvel and DC, and then just random movies like Kong and some Jurassic stuff. And later I got into horror and Alien and Predator, some Terminator. Like, I still remember when I had, like, basically no Terminator statues, and I'd see these sick-looking Terminator collections, which at the time was sick, but now when I look back, I'm like, God, that was shitty. So, I wish I had the T800 first version, not the second version. The first version does have the gun stick out, which makes it super deep, but ultimately it's a much cooler overall looking statue for a life size, in my opinion. This one is convenient because it does allow you to do that. I don't know, I wish it was just one gun, if I'm just honest. That's the big thing. And I wish the base was better. Now, I did fix my base, but originally this base lacked. I feel like me adding everything I did definitely helped. You got two skulls, you got the chip, bunch of grenades, even a cigarette. So me adding stuff like that drastically improved that display. Plus, even adding like the logo in the front, I think that looks really good. Yeah, I remember when people had this line, and I was always so incredibly impressed with ECC, and eventually I got them all. So, but right now, in all honesty, I'm really happy with my collection. There are, like I said, a few statues I would get rid of. Like, I'm keeping XM Predator, but if I could sell it, I mean, I really would love to just sell it for $2,000 what I paid, but I know that's not realistic. But the only reason I would sell it is just so I have the space for something else that I think fits my overall vision slightly better. But I'm keeping it for now. Yeah, the collection definitely is looking really good though, folks. So, I mean, I will say though, right now, because of how bad resale value is, think real hard before you put your money down on something, because deposits are very heavy nowadays. Back in my day, they were $70. Now it's like a minimum $200. So think real hard before you put that deposit down, because you don't want to get the statue and then, oh, I changed my theme and now this doesn't work. Now I have to sell it or lose my hefty deposit. So think real hard before you pre-order something. Make sure this is truly what you want. I keep having people tell me I need to sell one of my Jungle Hunter displays, and I'm like, absolutely not. I want the ultimate Jungle Hunter display. I want a masked version and an unmasked version. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not changing my mind. We're getting deep tail in, unmasked. And that will be my unmasked display, my masked display, and I love it. In general, I'm not a fan of duplicates, but there are quite a few differences between the overall statues. It's not like they look the exact same, where the Prime 1 definitely was like a carbon copy of Cinema Cat, just adding a few things, but it was way too similar. Way too similar. Anyways, folks, that is pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.